and welcome to our session on unified compliance, managing risk across your supply chains with Entreda and Privva. I am Sid Yenamandra, CEO and co-founder of Entreda, a Smarsh company. Today, we're going to take a few minutes to share with you some new and exciting news. Entreda recently acquired Privva. I have the CEO and co-founder of Privva, Ishan Girdhar, joining me today. He's going to be talking a little bit about the rationale for the acquisition and what Privva does. Super excited. As you all know, Entreda and Privva bring together a complete solution for cybersecurity risk mitigation within organizations, as well as within their supply chains. So today, I'm super excited to be talking to you about it. Privva, Ishan, take it away. Give us a little background on what Privva does.
Thanks, Sid. Appreciate you having me today. Privva really has been a company that's focused around third-party risk management. So vendor risk management, really kind of using those words in some synonymous way. Obviously, we're in an environment today that companies are using more third-party vendors. Data as the new gold is being transferred downstream at a rate that we've never seen before. And so what Privva has done is we built a platform that helps companies really send out a security assessment questionnaire or a privacy assessment questionnaire, really aggregating all the data from those third-party vendors around what are their policies, what are their procedures, and what does their architecture look like to make sure that any information that the client is sending down to their third-party vendors is actually going to be protected. And right. The old cliche, we're only as good as our weakest link. We're really trying to help our clients identify that weakest link so that we can put in additional controls and safeguards to make sure that our data is protected.
Great. So this is excellent because, as you know very well, Ishan, what we do at Entreda is we help organizations manage internal risk. So our focus is endpoints, networks, users, understanding and mapping the risk that emanates from those entities, and then bringing that forward through a scoring methodology. Essentially, what you're saying is with Privva, you're able to kind of go outside the four walls and look at the supply chain. Now, talk to me a little bit about, Ishan, what has changed in the environment today? So what's driving the need for more supply chain risk? Is it something that's unique post the pandemic? Regulations? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of things have changed, and I think the pandemic has actually accelerated it. The environment of how people are working right now working from home has expanded the number of third-party vendors that we need to have to make sure we're operating our business as usual. But I think the number one thing right now is regulatory tailwind. I think the regulators are really behind this. And you actually said something really interesting there. The number one cause of a breach is internal, which is an employee accidentally sending out information. And then the second is actually third-party risk. And so regulators, when they focus on building out a cybersecurity strategy or a plan or a roadmap, somebody like SEC or FINRA, they really they prioritize internal risk, and third-party risk was the follow-on. And I think we've now given everybody about a 24-month head start to get their houses in order inside. And I think now, we really are now focusing on where is the data going downstream. And I think that the regulators have a good hold on things like that. And I think that's going to continue to accelerate the growth and really, frankly, the need for a product like Privva. And I think that that's where we're going to see a lot of opportunity going forward.
That's great. So Ishan, talk to us a little bit about, you and I have talked about this quite a bit. There's a lot of synergy in customer base, a lot of the customers that we serve. Talk to us a little bit about some of the clients that you have and some of the growth areas that you're seeing from a customer dynamic.
Yeah, our two biggest areas from a clientele perspective is actually the legal industry and financial services. And that's where, really Entreda and Privva saw that cross section. When we think about financial services, our primary focus has been the alternative assets. So hedge funds, private equity funds, and venture capital. And Entreda, wealth management, broker dealers, RIAs has really been the focus for you. And obviously Entreda and Privva have been working together for about a year and a half, 2 years. So we saw a lot of opportunity where, again, kind of using that dialogue from before, the regulators are driving this as a true requirement for the broker dealer in the wealth management space. And so we see that our product can really fit into Entreda's clients. And what we're excited about, again, thinking about first party, how can we take the endpoint product from Entreda and actually bring that into the asset management and the legal industries?
Makes total sense. And, one of the core things that we saw, as you know, is with a client like Advisor Group, and this is public knowledge, Advisor Group has a large network of independent contractors. They've got a lot of advisors that are on the Advisor Group platform. And Advisor Group has a 1099 relationship with these advisors. It's pretty similar to most independent broker-dealer type models. In that area, we're seeing a lot of intersection of these issues because you've got these contractors that have insider risk. They have devices that they own. They work out of an office that they manage. They've got user level staffing that they have to manage cyber risk on. And now the parent has to worry about risks across all these different advisory firms and all the branches. And so both solutions kind of come together to sort of solve this holistically. And I think that's a dynamic that we're seeing, not just with Advisor Group, but many of the other clients that have a very similar model.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what would you say, Ishan, there's a lot of vendors when it comes to third-party risk, right? Supply chain risk. What would you say if you were to sort of summarize the top 3 reasons someone should be looking at Privva or anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the, number one is our flexibility. Our sort of tagline is that risk is contextual. What one firm may think is a risk, another firm may not have as a priority. So what we've done is we've really built something that can be adaptable to our clients' lens of risk really easily. No code, nothing, no development required. It's just modifying things in the platform so that it suits your environment. Second is creating something that's really easy to use. I think that is the number one thing that we've focused on is the user experience, not just on our client side, but also on the vendor side. Because at the end of the day, if the vendor's having a bad experience on our platform, then we're not going to get the data back for our clients. And so we really focus on a two-sided equation there. And then 3 is scalability. We understand kind of what we talked about earlier. Third-party risk is an evolving challenge. And so what we've done is we really are helping our clients grow into a program. So first is thinking about really your tier 1, your mission critical vendors, the vendors that have access to every piece of sensitive data in your environment, and then being able to accelerate and distribute things in a very scalable manner. And then as we're going, like an Advisor Group, we've gone from a couple hundred to north of 1,000 assessments that we're sending out. There was no lift from moving from 100 to 1,000 right. That disrupted their operations. And I think that's where we've really focused our efforts on, and I think that's what was sort of driven our success early on, and I think what's going to continue now that we're part of Entreda and largely Smarsh.
That's great. Yeah, and just to kind of add to that, I mean, one of the things we saw as part of the partnership was the fact that you had data integrations was really unique with some of the best vendors out there, Risk Recon, Argos, BitSight, and so when you want to do a holistic sort of risk assessment of a vendor, it's not enough to just do vendor surveys and collect responses, but actually aggregating some of that third-party data to enhance the vendor file, so to speak, was something that we saw was quite unique, and that's an area of continued investment. Another one that is personal to us at Entreda is one of the challenges with third-party vendor risk is vendor response. And the time it takes for vendors to respond. And you always have this curve where you've got some of the vendors that respond right up front, but then you've got the laggards, folks that take quite a long time to respond, and they don't quite respond in the way that you want them to, or will send you some other document. And so you've got this issue of then transcribing everything that was sent to you back into that consistent vendor format. So data normalization, data collection, data curation, data enhancement through third-party integrations, that we saw that was a key sort of element with you guys, and certainly with Entreda offering the managed service experience or the concierge service experience, we're able to kind of bundle these two solutions together. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you hit upon some great points here. Ishan, welcome to the Entreda and Smarsh family. We're excited about what the future holds. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We're super excited, as I said earlier, about what Entreda+Privva, and Smarsh will do together. If you need more information, feel free to log into Entreda.com or Privva.com, or reach out to us at info@Entreda.com to learn more. Thanks again. Have a great day.